Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Salam.
Okay, let's face it. When we're not making small talk with the stranger next to us, which we're usually not, we're on our phones constantly. And I can see so many lighted up right now. We're on our phones, we're tweeting, we're reblogging, we're posting statuses on Facebook. And we're not simply addicted to those sleek, the sleek exterior. We're addicted with the baggage that comes with it. The things in the applications, the games, those cute editing softwares which erase all your pimples, the social media especially. And who are the people who are most hopelessly addicted to the social media? It's us, it's you and me, it's the youth, and for the parents it's your kids. And because we spend so much time on the internet, I could say 24/7, you can ask my mom and dad, and they're not so happy about that. But because we spend so much time on the internet, it has begun to shape the way we see things, the way we perceive things, and the way we value things, especially ourselves. Now, physical insecurities, it's normal. I mean, everyone has them. But the question is, how do we deal with them? Now, usually successful people, they can deal with these things because they focus on other things. Things like your passion, your talents, your quality, your personality. But when you're constantly reminded of how you're twice as heavy as a supermodel over there, how you look terrible when you wake up in the morning, or how you'll never be as cool or as swaggy as Justin Bieber if you think he's cool. Okay? Getting over these physical insecurities become much harder, and these insecurities really penetrate into your mind. So now let's relate how. Okay, that was how the internet makes us feel insecure. Now let's relate how social media relates with physical insecurities. Social media is a platform for you to express yourself. And the thing that's most commonly, through my, when I go on Twitter, the thing that is most commonly expressed is physical insecurities. For example, one girl says, I think I'm fat, for example. And 86 other people retweet it. And this may sound like comfort for that girl. Like 86 other people feel the same way. But the problem is, no one ends up saying, maybe I am, but I'm okay with that. People just retweet, and there is no comfort because people, in the end, what they're doing is they're just hating on themselves. And this is what we call self-loathing. And this has been a part of teenage internet culture since I became a teenager, I think. Okay? So, if you Google self-loathing, it can be classified to a certain extent as a psychological disorder. And I'm not saying that all you teens are mental or something, but what social media has done is that it's almost normalized this idea of hating yourself. It's become normal, even though it's something it's against human nature. You don't usually say that you're bad. You usually make yourself feel better, or usually it's quite normal for you to feel that you're a good person. But because social media has made it acceptable, has made it normal for people to say FML or I'm gonna KMS, and I guess some people don't know what that means, and I'm not gonna say what it means. You can Google it or ask your kids because I'm sure they know what it is. And yeah, I'm not allowed to say swear words, and I don't swear. Okay, so see, there are two sides. There are the people who retweet and reblog pictures their idols, of their ideal bodies, of what they want to be. And there is the other side which complains about how they don't like what they look like or how they hate themselves. Now the irony is that these two sides are of the same person. So do you get it? We're feeding ourselves with things that make us feel so bad about ourselves, so empty. And that in itself is contradictory. Because you see, we're caught up in this little drug called the internet, and that's why steroids, drugs. We're feeding ourselves with things that make us feel worse, and we're complaining about it on the internet. I think it's time that we do something about it, and I'll tell you later why. Okay, so as I said earlier, it makes us slightly delusional. Things like self-harm. Harm itself, it's something painful. But what has happened over the internet is self-harm, as painful, as it may sound, it's become romanticized. It's something artistic. It's something beautifully tragic. It's something hipster or, whatever. So I have a picture, if you like, some of you haven't seen what the images look like on the internet. It'll come up somewhere. Okay, it's here. And besides self-harm, besides things like that, there are also images of girls who are incredibly thin, and girls look up to these people and they say, I want to be like these people, and I hate myself. Oh, this is self-harm. And I know it's in black and white. It's not ink, it's blood. This is a very simple image. Yeah, it is considered simple because there are so much more intricate carvings, and it actually disgusts me. But most teenagers out there, they think it's something normal. It's something, when I feel sad, I'm going to carve a rose out of myself and it's going to be beautiful. But the reality is, it's not. And it's not funny because these things hurt, and this reality has been pulled away from us. And the next picture is, girls wanting to be this thin. And it's quite usual, if you just scroll down your Twitter feed or whatever, you see girls retweeting this thousands of times. And I think boys are like, what? Why? And there are also, I don't have a picture of this, but there are also pictures of smoking. Smoking, it's also portrayed to be artistic, coming gracefully out of your mouth. I don't know, they make it look so beautiful, but in reality, it's not. So because these images are so constantly spread over the internet, what happens is that we forget the other side of the story. Because this is just one side of the story. The cutting is just one side of the story. The beauty is just one side of the story. The other side is pain. The other side is unhappiness and emptiness. And we forget that self-harm hurts a lot. It's depressing, and it's not something that we should, go into. We forget that physical beauty is subjective in itself. And even if you have your own ideal of physical beauty, there are other types of beauty. And physical beauty may not necessarily be the most important. You may have a beautiful mind or a beautiful heart, so much that it doesn't matter what you look like. So that's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that we're all equal. No matter how He created you, if you look like this or like that, He said that you're all equal. Because at the end of the day, you're judged not based on what you look like, not based on your physicalities, but your actions, your intentions, and what's in your heart, and how you acted upon it. Sorry. So I think I have just made social media sound so terrible right now. And I think all the parents are like, okay, I'm going to make sure like my kid is deactivated after this, and now everyone's going to hate me. But the thing is, there's another part of my speech, which I actually think that social media isn't all that bad, because we can't reverse what's been done, but what we can do is we can overrun the internet with things that can counteract these negative influences. It sounds, the way I make it sounds so easy, but a little goes a long way. Because, we blame the internet for ruining our lives, and we forget, wait, who controls the internet? Who controls what's being put in the internet? What's being spread? It's society. And then we say, oh, society is messed up and stuff like that. But we forget, society is us. And we have the power to change what's being put on the internet. And that's why we should start spreading things that are more positive. Because I'm sure most of the people here know that there are lots and lots of positive things on the internet. Can I have a picture, please? And there are like Islamic Tumblrs, and they're great. They really make me feel happy. Like if I'm doing nothing on the internet, I just go on it, and it makes you feel very happy and motivated to do things, to act. Because if you yourself feel depressed, how are you supposed to do something out there? How are you supposed to contribute if you can't even feel happy about yourself? So that's one thing. You can spread positive things, and another thing is when you see people spreading, tweeting something negative about themselves, tweet back. Instead of retweeting it, say, hey, maybe you don't look like Cara Delevingne, and obviously you don't, but I think you're beautiful inside. I think that's why I'm your friend, because you're a great person. Okay. Now, it may seem something tiny, and it may seem like something cliche, but a little goes a long way. And realistically speaking, this can't happen overnight because it's realistic. You can't just expect a whole positivity revolution to happen overnight. That's not going to happen. So what I encourage all of you to do is to participate in this process, you and I, to do something positive, to at least, when you go home after this, or you can do it right now, since all of you have phones right now, just go and spread something positive. Because what you post on the internet, it lives. It is your own small legacy and your contribution to the world. So one click can make a lot of other people feel better. You can make a lot of other people know things that they've never known before, and you can make the world a better place. And as cliche as it sounds, that's what we all want, isn't it? So I'll end with a picture. Hope it makes you smile. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum.